Raising Babies 101, your #1 choice for all things parenting and baby care. Libitso la ka ke Carol Ofori. This is what you can expect. Coming up next, the media and your little one, getting a tattoo while pregnant, parenting while bipolar, and much, much more. Batswadi ba bangata find it easy to put their little ones in front of a TV for many reasons. It keeps them busy and out of trouble. Mara TV e wena we shebileng, ilukile for ngwana hao a shebe. Have you asked that question? Le mmino wa cheka gore ngwana hao o mamela eng? Ke taba re buang ka yone kajeno. The media le gore how it affects ngwana gago jwang. Joining us in studio are educational psychologist Dr. Ken Resnick and Dr. Ramadungwane Tabane to unpack this further. Welcome, doctors.
Thank you. Hello.
So I have to start with you, Dr. Tabane. Is it important gore as motswadi tswentse o tsebe gore o shebile eng le gore ngwana gago a ka sheba ntho specifically for bana ba leng 5 and younger?
Go botlhokwa thata gore motswadi a itse gore bana ke eng se ba se lebeletseng mo television ka baka la gore ka nako tsa ngata o tla kra gore di programs tse di tshamekang di mengwaga ya tsona di bapalo tse di dirwang mo di feta ngwana ka mengwaga kana re bolela ka taba ya polelo re bolela ka taba ya di actions tse di dirwang mo television.
What do you have to add to this?
I think what I'd like to add is that what our role is as a parent. What we're doing, we're guiding children to adulthood. Every child is born with passion. Every child wants to face its world and get out there. Now, TV kills its stone dead. And the moment you have a child saying, I'm bored, if they're not watching TV, we're in trouble. Because there's just so many things that kids can do. So it's vitally important that it's controlled and monitored because they don't understand what's going on, but they're just images. And you actually start stifling them or stunting them from getting into their world. And as I said, if they say they're bored, wow, there's so many things they should or could be doing, and now they don't want to. They need to be entertained. And that's where we're going wrong, I think.
Yeah, so that's where we're going wrong, says Dr. Resnick. Dr. Tabane, I have to ask you, how does it affect development yang wana ha umebela TV the whole time?
Oh, Dr. Resnick go boletsa ntengwe e botlhokwa ka taba gore ge ngwana ka re ke boregile go na le molato ka baka la gore kana go tshameka. It's part of development yang wana. What we call those gross motor and doing kana go tshameka le bana ba nkontle dumella ngwana a ithute go socializer go thoma di chomi go itse gore ha ke na le conflict ke resolve byang. When all of these things aka se diregele gore ngwana phela lebeletse television o tlo no bona ka mkhodi resolve wa mo TV a ipotsa gore
specifically when we're watching certain programming, it's 5 o'clock, it's soapy time, mom wants to sit in front of the soapy and there's a romantic scene, or there's an action movie with a bit of violence in it. How are these things affecting children, specifically from 5 and below?
If that's all they're doing all day, it affects them. And they shouldn't really be watching if they don't understand it. So they see a bit of movement. It's not the violence, I don't believe, per se, that affects them, but if that's all they're watching, and there's no discipline in the home, and the parents are screaming, and the kids are being rejected, so what's going on in their world is the TV aggravates the problem. If the parents are not doing their job and monitoring and helping that child feel safe, helping that child carry on having that passion, the moment the mother is running around for the child and the child becomes too dependent on the mom being there all the time, it takes away so much. They don't know how to socialize. Yeah. There are far too many children mixing with adults. Parents are scared to let their children go out and play. And as a result, they only know adults, and adults think they're cute. But when they go into their world, which is a 3 or 4-year-old world, they're inappropriate, they're not coping.
What would you say is a guideline for motswadi ha batla ho sheba television? What should a parent think of when they have a child with them watching television? What should the first things they think about before they put their TV on?
Well, Thanks. We have the film and production that tells you, first and foremost, that this program is appropriate for this particular age.
So you must follow the parental guidelines.
Follow the guidelines. That's number one. They are done not necessarily to a limit, but to teach and to make you be careful as a parent. Or please know what is coming. So we should take them to consideration. It's just 13 PG. So therefore, there's a reason why the number is there. Right? As a parent, you need to know that. 2, TV, I say, it does not replace parenting. Bana babatla motswadi le a touch. Ya motswadi gore ka nnete o teng on tlhokometse. 3, you cannot want your television gore e godisetse ngwana. Wena o chaba go bolela di topics tse di rileng, then o emetse tsatsi le go tshameka programming so
sheba mo. Doctor, do you want to add with guidance for how parents can choose programming?
Definitely. I think, first of all, they should not be watching TV in the day. They should be limited maybe an hour before supper and a little bit after. However, they need to earn TV time. They need to have been active, playing, not with mom, but either on their own because they can be creative, and they need to be learning to interact. They can't be lying on their bed, doing nothing, being entertained.
Now, I have to ask, cartoons are a big part of parents thinking it's a safe zone. We put on a cartoon programming, we put on this type of cartoon, and we think that by doing that for our children, they are made for kids, so surely hours of watching that cartoon or that particular program every day at a certain time is good for our kids, Doctor?
No, it can't be good for the kids because there's too much. You know, it's vomited out at them. When we were kids, we went to a movie. Once a week, there was a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Wow, that was great. But when there's a Bugs Bunny cartoon 24/7, eventually you're drowning in Bugs Bunny. So it really does no good. There's got to be rules with it. That's why I say if they sit up and they can watch and concentrate, but the moment they fall down, sorry, you want the TV off?
No more TV. You got to
because
sit up.
they then develop all these OT problems. You know, have you seen a kid that watch TV upside down? You know, they're watching lying on the floor.
It's crazy. Thank you so much, doctors, for chatting to us about this topic of television and our kids. A very insightful conversation indeed. What do you think? Let us know on our social media pages. Right now, pregnancy and tattoos, should they even be mentioned together? Well, you decide. Thinking of commemorating your pregnancy by getting a tattoo? What should you do or know before you make that decision? We hit the streets of Mzansi to find out what you think about it. Arashebe.
I mean, I feel for a pregnant woman because it's not a good thing to see No,
I don't see any problem.
If my girlfriend came to me that she's pregnant and she wants to get a tattoo, I'll say no.
Mina anginainkinga ne-tattoo ngoba nami ngiyayithanda and nomunye umuntu makayenza kusuke kuyi-choice yakho usuke ayithanda.
Before pregnancy, yes. During, no. After, yes. Tattoos are cool. I love tattoos.
I think a tattoo for a pregnant woman is not good enough. Especially and I think it's a bit satanish.
At the end of the day, it's wena and not for the others. And I don't see Gucci tattoo affect kanjani umntwana.
Because corruption #1 and like 2 years destroy no pregnant.
Ithatwa into kaSathana negibini.
Tattoos are from where? Okay. Studio audience, from you what your views are on what you saw there and your views vele on tattoos in pregnancy. What do you have to say? Do you agree or disagree?
Naka dumela gore tattoo. Ntho ke hanana lona ke go etsa ho sampanong le mmele. Hobane ntho ke believang kore while maybe utlwa pain le ngwana utlwa pain, so a ke nahana gore tattoo right there.
When we grow up, we know that you do tattoos while you are in jail, such things. So is it in law? That is my question.
Okay. Well, let's find out. Here to answer those questions is Jade McLean. He's a tattoo artist from the Body Art Council, and he joins us to discuss this. Welcome, Jade.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks, and you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Sure, there's some crazy things that came out
some crazy
of the
things
streets.
flying around there, but it's all good.
People think it's from Satan. People think that only people from jail get tattoos. You want to clear that up for us?
No, for sure. Well, I mean, in today's age, you know, as far as modern technology goes, you know, you're getting brand new TVs, phones, all of this. So obviously tattooing evolves with it as well. So you get better equipment, better machines, inks, needles, things like that. And it isn't against the law to get tattoos. It's pretty much you doing what you want to do to your own body.
Now, specifically with pregnancy and tattooing, is it healthy to you know, the one lady said that she feels that whatever you feel, your baby feels. So if you're feeling pain,
that's true. Because I mean, your body's going through a trauma. You know, something's happening to your body, whether you're injured or something like this. So when something like that, where a needle is piercing your skin, your body senses something is happening to it. So it goes into kind of a shock, and that feeling can then transfer to your baby as well. So it can shock the baby if the fetus is maybe a little bit weaker than others or something. There could be complications and things like that. So there's no really...
So the shock can be transferred to the baby?
Yes, the shock can be transferred to the baby.
So let me ask you, have you had pregnant women come and sit in your chair? And what have you done in that instance?
Well, obviously, I make sure that they're not pregnant before they sit in my chair. But I explain to them this, that your body does go into shock, your fetus can feel that shock, and also the ink that
So do you turn them away?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, and including breastfeeding as well.
Oh, okay.
They must be done with the pregnant once the baby is born. They must be finished with the breastfeeding as well.
Oh, okay. How does the breastfeeding affect?
Well, because when you're tattooing someone, the ink goes into your bloodstream.
Yeah.
You know, and that foreign body is now going into your baby's bloodstream as well.
Oh.
So it's not body harmful, but for such a young fetus to be exposed to something like that, it could be, you know, most of the time it's okay, but I mean, you don't do it just in case something could happen, because, you know, anything a foreign body that's introduced to a young fetus, the fetus can react badly to it.
You know, walk us through the precautionary things as well as the dangers.
Any professional studio will be using new needles, not cleaning needles. They'll be using new needles. All the equipment is sterilized professionally and correctly, and we are inspected by a professional association, and they inspect your studio to make sure that your hygiene standards are up to standard.
Thank you so much for giving us insight on that, and I'm glad you turned these crazy ladies away. Wait for baby to be born first.
But I mean, you know, a lot of my clients also come and mark themselves with family, with moms, dads, kids, everything like that, and that's the way to go, rather than your girlfriend or boyfriend, or you remember that ad with the crossed out all the names. We don't want that, you know.
Thank you so much, Jade, for sharing your insight on tattoos and pregnancy. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for having me. It's been a lovely interview.
Awesome, thank you. So there you have it. Jade says not a good idea for pregnant women to go ahead and get tattoos, but at the end of the day, you decide. Share your thoughts on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and let us know what you think. Stay with us. Taking care of your baby's umbilical cord at home after giving birth, and how to cope with pregnancy when you're bipolar. More Raising Babies 101. We go back to basics with our studio demonstration, and today is no different. Kinakoya, easy peasy. The umbilical cord is what gives life to baby while they're in mommy's womb. After birth, it gets cut, but not removed completely. I'm joined by Daisy Mochega, a professional caregiver, and she's going to show us how to look after an umbilical cord stump at home. Hi, Daisy.
Hi, Kara. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yes, thank you for coming. This is very important because a lot of parents get a little bit scared. Tell me about the care of a umbilical cord stump.
the umbilical cord stump is very easy to take care of.
Okay.
But most parents, especially the first mom,
yes,
they are so much scared of taking care of it. Yes, especially at home.
Yes.
But there's nothing to be scared of.
So talk us through it. What do we need?
First, we need to wash our hands. At home, we can use soap or we can use...
sanitizer?
The sanitizer, yes. We can use the sanitizer. Whilst we see that our hands are clean and dry, that is only when we can use the surgical spirits. It's either you can use a swab or a cotton wool. Yes. We need to be very gentle when we are applying this surgical. So I'll start with the swab. When you're using the swab, you go in circles around the navel area, this umbilical area. We go in circles.
After you've put surgical spirit on that,
we put surgical spirit. Then we go in circles.
How many times in circles?
You can go once or twice. There's no problem. As long as you're doing it after you have dipped this into the surgical spirit. Yes.
And you do it at every nappy change, or when do you do this?
It's recommended to do it every nappy change, but in the event that you doesn't change your baby constantly, still you need to go through it. It doesn't take time, so I urge moms to do it frequently so that it heals quickly.
How long does it take to heal?
Normally, it heals in a week's time to 2 weeks' time, but it all depends on babies. Some babies, it takes longer, to 2 weeks, some 3 days, but normally we want to give it like... let's say up to 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yes.
So during those 2 weeks, do we wash the baby? Do we wet the baby at all? And if we do want to wipe the baby down or wash the baby, what do we do?
During that time, when the baby is still having this umbilical cord stump, we don't need to wash the baby into the water. What we do, we don't dip the baby in the tub. We need to use sponge. Yes, we need to just damp the baby, to just wipe the baby very carefully and holding the baby very carefully. Normally, we need to put our hand under the baby like this. Then you just wipe, or even to wipe the baby, the whole body.
Yes.
Then you close the baby when you finish. But what we need also to do as parents, after cleaning this umbilical cord stump, before it falls off, when you're putting on a nappy or a diaper, you don't need to put this nappy like on top of the stump.
Always keep it dry.
Yes, always keep it dry and...
not irritated.
Not irritated and under this area.
Thank you very much, Daisy, for sharing that with us. It's a pleasure. So, le umbilical cord stump, just use surgical spirits mo go yone. O ska berekisa anything else because you increase chance nyangwana a gore a tlhokofale. So let's be careful, batsadi. Thank you again.
Thank you.
It's time now for our baby shower. Okay, viewers, as we all know, parenting can be very, very costly. To make life a little easier for you, our baby shower segment is to shower you with gifts. This week, we have a baby hamper to give away. All you need to do is answer yes or no to one simple question correctly. Can you remove the umbilical cord stump when you get home from the clinic? To enter this competition, answer yes or no on our social media platforms. Answer correctly, and one lucky viewer will randomly be selected to win a baby hamper voucher valued at 1,000 Rand. The winner will be announced on our social media. Best of luck. More Raising Babies 101. Bipolar, pregnancy, breastfeeding, and raising 1 hour how. How can this period be gentler on you and conducive for baby? Palesa Morabe contacted us to share her story about this. I'm
Palesa Morabe, based in Mafikeng in the Northwest Province. I'm 30 weeks pregnant and living with bipolar. My biggest aim since diagnosis has been to understand my illness and to understand myself separately so I could know where the two overlap. My biggest challenge, however, has been the effects of medication and fatigue. It is for this reason that I stopped taking my medication. I was afraid it would affect the child's growth and development. I now cope by exercising, eating well, sleeping well, and also communicating well with my mom, my partner, and my gynae so they can watch out for red flags. What I want to know from raising babies is, Am I being paranoid about breastfeeding? I'm afraid that my manic episodes and my depressive episodes will affect the baby every time I feed. Should I or should I not stop breastfeeding when I feel like I have an episode?
Joining me to answer that very question is Faith Komani, a registered counsellor, to give us a little bit of advice. Faith, welcome.
Thank you so much, Carol.
So Faith, Palesa,
okay, situation ya Palesa it's hatanyan, okay, because of bipolar high. It is a mood disorder, so it affects how my kutloa high, the way behavior high, the way I thing. Okay, so it becomes complicated because moto or pregnant already unali do hormonal changes within the body. Okay, so then the mood disorder makes it a bit more complicated, okay? Because it will affect her emotions high and the way I respond to things gongwana high, okay? So it becomes quite complicated. And then ubuile katabaya medication as well. Hore you know, she fears hore it can affect her high in a negative way. So it does make the situation a bit complicated.
So for bipolar, how can I tlhalosa in the most simple way?
So bipolar, it affects your mood in two separate ways. Mania is basically your mood highly audim.
Okay.
So the excitement, the rush, your waban. So oba everything iba go dim. And then the depressive side of it is
everything
go class, you know, where motu yeah.
Okay.
So
is it important or how does it work? How does it affect one how?
Yeah.
So for bipolar.
Okay. Problem is if you stop a medication how there and there immediately, then it's going to affect that. Tonetse abueli psychiatrist ya high, li obstetrician ya high, okay? Because then batlokono mothalusetsa the risks of continuing with the medication or stopping, okay? And then they have to monitor her and then batlokono homo advisor handle.
Renale Poto from our studio audience. Dimalame.
Molo sis Carol, molo sis Faith. Ngicela ukubuza ukuba bipolar as ine medicine ebanayo, so iyakwazi unyangeka na?
Because the medication iyakwazi ukufika ebisini. So when u breastfeed umntwana, you know, umntana nawe iyakwazi ukuthi ayincane, okay? So that's why it's very important ukuthi mawunayo bipolar uconsulte ne doctor yakho, so that they can then decide ukuthi how do they regulate medication yakho. Whether bayayehlisa ukuthi uthathe less or bakunikeza another type of medication that won't affect umntwana negatively.
So balisa wila bua ka taba ya gore ene o tshaba gore a ka lematsa le ngwana gagwe ka re a ke re ke bolwetse ba di mood. So are o tshaba gore you know sometimes batho ba suffer postnatal depression ka mona o tshaba gore no maybe we should get too hyper bua ka manic a lematse ngwana wa hae. King advice for batsadi that are living ka bipolar and bana le bana. Like they're pregnant, they're going to have a child.
Okay, Carol, that's why it's very important for medication how nali bipolar, le how le pregnant. That's why it's about monitor handle. Because how to completely your medication, then the risk or the chances of relapse and because you mentioned a very important thing as well, postnatal depression. If you medication how you are at a higher risk of developing or having postnatal depression because there's nothing regulating your mood. So then it becomes a risk as well. So it's very important medication high abueli psychiatrist so that it doesn't get to that stage. And if it does, then to manage it and continue treatment, for counseling, all those things, you know, to balance emotionally as well, to get that emotional support. So medication is very important.
So kione advice o fang palisa ka taba e?
Yeah, so ke fa palisa advice hore abueli psychiatrist ya hae, abueli obstetrician hore ba shebe ngwana, and then batla mo advise hore a tswele pele ka breastfeeder or not, and then and then ange medication ya higher then, and just to make sure, you know, it doesn't get to that point. And even if ha qeta thola ngwana akaya for, you know, supportive counseling, atole that emotional support as well, so that amo manage jwang ngwana.
Okay. Thank you so much, Faith, go tlhalosa gore Palesa ireng ka taba e ya gage ya breastfeeding le bipolar and being pregnant. Ra leboga. So Palesa, I hope re arabile potso ya gago ya bipolar le go anyisa ngwana and pregnancy. We'll see you after the break. Se se latelang, Baby's Health A to Z, and we are decoding the letter F for fever. Welcome back. Today on Baby's Health A to Z, we decode the letter F for fever. Fever, also known as pyrexia and febrile response, is defined as having a temperature above the normal range due to increase in the body's temperature set point. There is not a single agreed upon upper limit for normal temperature, with sources using values between 37.5 and 38.3 degrees Celsius. Joining us to give us more insight about the subject matter is Dr. Sam Obabuku, a specialist family physician. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you.
Let's talk about fever in infants and small children. What exactly is fever, especially for the little ones?
Fever is a rise in temperature above the normal, what we deem the normal temperature for a human being. So it applies for both adults and child, same value.
Yes.
Anything above 38 degrees that's the average that we arrive at. Anything above 38 degrees, some people say anything above 37.5 degrees should be classified as a fever.
Okay. So anything above. So you're speaking of 38 degrees. I'm sure most of us are asking, how do we establish we are at 38 degrees? Yeah. Can you do this by just looking or feeling the child, or do you have to have a thermometer or something to gauge?
Yeah, it's a very common finding that parents come telling us that the kids have fever, and we check objectively. So we call it an objective assessment. And that's the reason why we have to accept the objective assessment. Because if we do the usual, what we call the tactile check, that's tactile means using their hands. You just use, some people use the palm of their hands, some people use the back of their hands, and they make you feel. Forgetting that sometimes our fingers are colder than our body, normal body. So if you use that on the child, on anybody, you could feel warm. You could feel warm and you could make a mistake.
You could make a mistake.
Yeah.
So the best thing is to get yourself a thermometer.
So that's the most objective thing. I'm sure that one thing that we have found that is educative is we have told parents to buy thermometers.
Yes.
Are they expensive? No, they're very, very, very cheap ones. Very cheap ones.
When you say cheap, how much is this?
We're looking at less than 50 rands.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
We're looking at, we have even the ones for 20 rands.
Yes.
So these are plastic glass, very small pen-like structures that you can just put under and you can be able to read the mercury level.
So under the armpit?
Under the armpit.
How long do you keep it there?
We normally recommend that you go as long as a minute.
1
minute, 60 seconds is enough to give you what you want. We can also put in the mouth. If that thermometer is only meant for that child in the house, you can also use the mouth.
So what do you do as a mom? You've put this under baby's arm. Yes. Baby's fever's reading at about 39.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you do?
Don't panic. That's what I'll tell the mom. Do not panic. Fever is actually a normal reaction is a normal response to a particular whether it could be inflammatory or it could be infection. Something is going on in the body. So I expect that what the mom should ask first and foremost is the simple question: what do I think is causing this fever as a mom? Number one. Number two will be, what am I going to do next? Yeah, those are the two questions that I expect the mom to do.
And what are the answers?
The answers is, if there is fever, most of them, they don't come in isolation. Okay, if it comes with respiratory disease or respiratory symptoms, you will have other things with it.
So that's a chest and breathing when you're saying respiratory.
Yeah. So we're talking about sneezing, coughing, blocked nose, sore throat, depending on and ear ache. Child will be pulling on the ear, giving you an idea that something is wrong. So those are the things that if the mom or the dad experiences, well, he can be able to tie down the fever to something. Now, that does not affect, what we're classifying does not affect the very much newborn. Okay, we need to actually take off the newborn from this. If your baby is less than 3 months and baby has fever, please take him straight to the hospital.
Okay.
Do not even ask more questions because babies at that point
What will happen
time,
if you neglect and say, let's see how baby does later?
I don't want to discuss that.
Let's get a question from our studio audience.
Hello, Carol.
Hi, babe.
Okay, can I on 11 months? Like whenever Abali fever, he struggles to breathe. So, is there any other medication that I can give him or should I take him straight to the hospital?
How real is it consistently? Okay.
Can I find any other symptom with the fever? Is the child having diarrhea with the fever? Is the child having vomiting with the fever?
Yeah, he vomits.
Okay. Is the child having any what we call upper respiratory tract infection, what we will call the flu symptoms, right? We call them flu in general. That's the general name for it. Oh, he's got flu. It could be blocked nose, it could be earache, it could be coughing, sneezing, and so on, right? So these are the things that gives you an idea what you think is causing the fever. Okay.
So I find this interesting. You're saying that parents can also just take time to get into understanding what are the other things and you could possibly figure out what's going on. Okay, that's very interesting.
We expect you to do that because it's part of our education, ongoing education in parts of our different localities. We're trying to educate moms to respond better. Not in a panic mode because fever killed the so-and-so's baby.
Yes.
Fever will kill my baby. No, it's not like that. There are other symptoms that usually come with it. So those are the things we would like to discuss as time goes on. But basically, this is the way we want you to look at it.
Now, one thing I also want to ask you is with infants specifically, as soon as they get a fever, a lot of people say, get a wet cloth, put it on the baby, undress the baby, try and cool the baby down. But you know, in African culture, we always feel a warmer baby is a happier baby. So we want to put more blankets. He's hot, put more blankets. He's sick, put more blankets. What do you say?
So when the body resets, when the brain resets that, so okay, I want to shoot this up to 40. Or to 39 degrees centigrade. Now, what happens is that the body has to respond to that, right? There's a reset already. So the body starts to respond in such a way that the body has to generate heat. That's why you shake. That's why you feel cold, because you want to cover. You want to generate heat to increase to that temperature.
Now, when you get there, it gets hot.
Yeah, when you get to that temperature, then you suddenly feel hot. You want to take away things, right? You start to feel... So it's a process. And when you're actually going up, that's why I tell my patients and my staff, if someone has fever and I check the temperature and it's 39 and he's still shaking, what does that tell me? It's still increasing. So when that child is still shaking, right, and still having the chills, if you want to expose the child and clean him and put like what we call it tepid sponging, okay? Like cleaning it with a warm towel and try to, not cold, warm towel, and expose and try to clean with warm towel. The idea is that moisture will help with the temperature.
To cool it down.
To cool it down.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abubaku, for that insight on fever. We really appreciate it. So, if your child is under 3 months, make sure if your child has a fever, you take her to the doctor. Up next, our yummy mummy of the day, Penny Libiani. Our yummy mummy of the day is none other than media personality and mother of Takunda and Tamuka, Penny Libiani. Welcome, Penny.
Thank you, Cal.
You are like a media veteran. I mean, I remember listening to you on radio and seeing you on TV as a young girl and seeing you as an inspiration as a young person. What's that like? You've got your own kids that also see you as an inspiration.
Okay, I don't accept the veteran word because then what is Shero Twala? What is, Grand Chokwan and all this? I'm just established. That's why I like to leave it at that because there's people who've done
absolutely,
greater
but obviously you have people like myself
Yeah.
who've looked up to you.
That's true.
Specifically and see you in that light.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your kids also see you in an amazing light as well.
I'm just a mom to them. And
Really?
actually, that's really what I tried to sort of get that.
What does just a mom mean for you?
I'm their mom. I'm not like a media personality. I'm not anything extra special. I'm their mom. They must be able to like come to me and converse to me about anything and everything. Well, they're old enough now. It's sort of like getting there. But over the years, they were just my children who didn't even know or understood what I did. Like, you're always going to work, mommy.
Yes, yes. Now let's speak about TV. Earlier more the show Neribuaka how what are they exposing their children on TV to? Is there a specific way of dealing with it for you in your household?
Definitely there is. You know, not just TV, cell phone consumption, media consumption in general. One, because obviously I work in media. I know the role that media has to play, what influence it has, what they also listen to. I am strict, but I try to like have conversations with my children about whatever it is that they're consuming, because I don't want them to be sort of like, you know, hindered, but I want them to understand things and not get ahead of themselves. So we sort of like have basic rules. You know, the certain time that they sleep, they can watch the news, they can watch, you know, certain soapies on television based on the conversation. We discuss what is it they're watching. And then there's certain kids channel that they watch, but I sometimes sit with them and just watch and observe and then ask them, you know, what is that and why are you reacting that way? So I can have a sense of what their likes are and what, you know, what they don't like. But I also, you know, don't want them to be overexposed to unnecessary content.
I hear you, I hear you. Now, I know that you suffered postnatal depression and you've been quite vocal about it. What was your experience and what advice would you have?
I mean, I think when it happened to me, my son is 12, it was a case of like, I knew that it's something that I'm going to have to like sort of like speak about because no one was talking about it, you know, at the time, especially local celebrities. I mean, internationally, there were a few people. But I think it was obviously a dilapidating experience that one could go through. And in my case, I had the extreme case of postnatal depression, which is puerperal psychosis, which happens at the time, it was like 1 in 100. You know, I don't know.
What does that mean when you say
sort of like
extreme?
Everybody has the baby blues after you have a baby. It's sort of like you're feeling uncertain, you're not sure, you know, you're a bit overwhelmed emotionally because hormonally you are out of balance. But, you know, when you have extreme puerperal psychosis there's two types. There's fight or flight. There's those who, you know, who want to harm themselves and those who just, they want nothing to do with anybody and they just want to keep to themselves. So I wasn't necessarily sort of like wanting to harm anybody. I just had uncontrollable energy because I'm naturally an energetic person. I couldn't sleep. I wasn't tired. I didn't feel any physical pain. And I had just gone through having a baby. So I was just like at a level where nothing would touch me. I was like floating, like, oh, my life is beautiful, you know. So I needed to sort of like come back to the level of like where everybody was like, okay, you've just had a baby, you need to adjust. And I think in my case it was a case of like I was so prepared for the, you know, for the baby. Like I over prepared my mind, like it went on overdrive. Like I was literally not here. I was gone.
I hear you.
Yeah, so.
Single parenting, how's that been for you?
It is hard. You know, I think it's been glamorized and I think it's actually, they're selling us a cheap thing. It's a lot of work. There's no glamour in it. And actually, I think it's unfair. Like, fathers should be responsible and be involved, whether they're present or absent. And I think it's especially if you're a conscious mom, like I'm a conscious mom. I want to be present for my kids. I want my kids to be, you know, to be in tune with who they are. I want them to be supported. I want them to feel affirmed. Why? Because I didn't live with my mom, you know, when I was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 until 13. So I want that. I didn't live with my parents. So I want that for my kids. So you can imagine what it's like for me. I feel like I'm doing triple. I want to be at their school plays. I want to drop them. I want to have conversations with them. I want to do all of those things. And then at the same time, you got to do the bills. So sometimes you get caught up in, I feel like a man. I don't know if, you know, I feel like I just want to read a newspaper and not be emotional, not be touching, like, not be like, where's your school bag? Where did you leave it? What happened to your t-shirt? I just want to be like, can your mother take care of that? So sometimes I think I need a wife as well. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I hear you. We have a question from our audience. Dumela mme.
Dumela mme. Nna ke kopa go botsa gore ke language e feng o e bua le bana ba gago ha o le ko gae?
Interesting question.
Yeah, it's because we always advocate for language. I try gore ke bolele le bona ka Sesotho, Sepedi, sa Gesho because nna ke Mopedi akere. But because ba kena skolo mo ba kena ngwana ba bolela Sekgowa ka nako nngwe ba na le nkara ba araba ka Sekgowa o so re dula lena o bua le bona ka Sesotho ba nkutla ke ka change from Sepedi to Sesotho because now I'm like that. Mama ka lena sometimes o bua le bona ka Sepedi you know le Sesotho, but it's an in and out. I understand. So, but I think it's very important gore batswadi ba bolele le bana ba bona ka dipolelo tsa bona gore ba kgone go kwishisha gore na ke bo mang ba tswa kae ba ya kae mara gona lo ba bothatanyana.
We have another question for you, Penny.
Hi, okay.
Ronald guy.
Thing. Will you allow your child to have a tattoo?
To have a tattoo?
Yeah.
It depends on what age and if they understand what it is. I had a tattoo at 21, and it's the only tattoo I have. I mean, I've had people say things like, oh, once you have one, you'll have 50 of them. No.
You only have one.
I only have one because I chose to have one. Firstly, they'll have to be old enough. They'll have to understand what tattoo they're having and why they're having it and where they're having that tattoo. We're going to have a conversation about it. It's not like, oops, I just put a tattoo on my face. No, you didn't. Or you're not going to.
We were actually speaking on a tattoo and how they're pregnant. We were talking about some ladies how are pregnant, baba excited, and they're like, let me go commemorate and go and get a tattoo to commemorate it. Which we learned today, from a tattoo guy. He said, no, it's not advisable.
Look, there's a lot of things, obviously, they're not advisable, you know, pregnant. But I think that we used to be told you can't do when you were pregnant. Get information, be empowered. You know, like, yes, you know, one is a modern, contemporary one, but I understand. And then, so I needed to understand you can't do that. And then at the same time, I'm a very modern woman. So I went and read about it. Does it medically make sense?
So what were some of the things you were told?
Like people used to say you can't wear heels when you're pregnant.
Oh.
I mean, I was like, I went to the summers like 2 weeks before I gave birth. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, let's get down. Because you can't exercise when you're pregnant. And this is 12 years ago. I was exercising.
What exercises?
I was doing squats because firstly, you need strong thighs when you're going to go give birth. I was doing lifts because you need a strong back to carry your breasts once you're full. I was doing lifts because I'm going to pick up the baby. And after all, I needed to snap back.
Oh, and you snapped back, honey.
I needed to snap back, you know? But then at the same time, oh, you can't eat fish. My child's brain is developing. I need omega-3. You know, so those are some of the things. When I earlier on I made reference to like being over-prepared. For a lot of like, some of my friends who were pregnant, who had babies before me, I was the one who said, no, I read it in this baby magazine. That's not true. That's not true. They were like, oh, you're not going to listen to anyone, Penny. We've already had babies. I was like, yeah, but you never asked why you were asked to do that. I'm asking. That's the difference. You know what I mean? So, and there's things that culturally they'll tell you, don't stand at the door. I mean, guys, don't get home at 7. Really? I have a job to
do. So what would you say, key advice for batsadi who have children between 0 and 5?
It's a new experience. It's your experience. Okay, Carol has her experience. My mom has experience. But what experience do you want to create for you and your baby? You know? So there's good advice, there's bad advice. And there's advice that can work for you in your life that might have worked for certain people at that particular time. Be innovative. You know, like now I was very, very strict. Like I believe in this thing, no, my child can't sleep, they sleep at 10. No, that was not happening with me in my house. Like, there's no, the father of the child is back at 8. If the child is sleeping at 7, sleeping at 7. If you want to see the child, be here before 5. Because at 7, we're bathing the child. Because it's me who at 9 must be trying to have the baby sleeping. Do you know what I mean? I believed in silence, no noises, no screaming. Because that worked for me. But if when you want your child to sleep at 10, at 12, sure, good luck.
So tell me, any chance of more babies? Do you feel broody?
That's a very tricky question. You know, when we come to shows like this, you know, you're like, yeah, maybe. Oh, you know, it's in the hands of God. I mean, Janet Jackson had a child at 50. Who am I to say nothing? It's not possible.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? If the the right present, available, consistent, I'm there father shows up. Okay, depending on what they show up with. I mean, there could be a BOB situation, bring your own baby. You know? That's it. If they have, yeah, there's certain things like if they have one, yeah, we can look at, you know, maybe another two. I want twins. If I was to have a baby, I want twins. I'll tell you why, because my kids are so close to each other, they're like twins. So if I had one baby, I think it would be very selfish. Because they'll have to struggle, like making friends.
Yes.
They need a buddy.
Yeah.
So if I had babies, I'll have twins.
Twins!
But, Lord, send!
Thank you so much, Penny. So twins it is, hey? We really appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
A big thank you to my wonderful studio audience and my experts who came in studio to chat about all our topics. Make sure you catch us next week for another informative show on childcare and parenting. From me, Carol Ofori. Catch you next week. Bye-bye. Welcome to Pep Talk, your go-to place for everything to do with parenting and more. Way before baby has even made their presence felt in this world is the preparation that comes before mom delivers. I'll be giving you a few suggestions to keep in mind for one of the most important days on your calendar. Having a hospital bag ready is the best thing you can do for yourself. And remember to pack the following: 2 front-opening night dresses for breastfeeding, a gown, heavy-duty sanitary pads, comfortable underwear, a pair of slippers, warm socks, cotton cloth to swaddle baby, a comfortable set of clothing to wear when you go home, and toiletries. Remember to carry a camera on your delivery day to capture that special moment when your baby arrives. When packing for your newborn, you will need the following: full body onesies that fasten up in the front, socks, and a hat, a going home outfit for baby, newborn diapers from our Cuddle Some range, baby wipes, and bum cream. For dad or your birth partner, ensure that they carry snacks, a phone and charger, a change of clothing, and toiletries. Catch us again next time, right here on Pep Talk, for more assistance in your parenting journey. To stand a chance to win with Pep, get onto our social media pages and enter our weekly competition. You'll stand a chance to win some great prizes. See you next time.